Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of The Fishing Teacher, and really appreciate you guys coming by the channel to spend some time with me on the video today. We are going to be talking about if spoons are still a thing. The old school spoon, man, they have been around forever in bass fishing, but you just don't hear much about them anymore. It's like it seems like to me that the past, man, actually every year it seems like you hear less and less, but really ever since electronic technology has advanced to the point where you have all this other high-tech stuff, the spoons sort of get left by the wayside. So we're gonna have a little conversation if they're pretty much a bygone era lure, or if there's still situations you can use them today. So we'll get into that in today's video. Also, a quick reminder, guys, just want to let you know that Tackle Warehouse has got a bunch of really good fall fishing sales right now on everything, rod, reels, tackle. If you guys are interested, I'll put my Tackle Warehouse link in the description. If you guys use that link, it's a good way to support the channel. I'll also link my Fish the Moment lake map breakdown link in the description if you guys would like to pick up a lake breakdown that I build for Fish the Moment. So really appreciate that. I remember back in the late 70s when I first started bass fishing, people using spoons like crazy. That was like one of the techniques that you hear people using all the time. And I didn't know anything. I'll tell you a little story. When I first got my first boat, you've probably heard me talking about it. I got a 16-foot flat bottom at a rummage sale for $200 and fixed it all up. And my very first fishing trip in that 16-foot beat up aluminum boat that I painted camouflage was down at Grand Lake in January. And I'd been reading Bassmaster magazine, and they talked about fishing spoons for winter bass. But I didn't know anything about bass fishing, and I was down there. I got me a couple spoons at the Southtown Sporting Goods in Joplin, and I went down there, and Grand Lake is a stained water lake, so I was out there trying to jig a spoon out there in dirty water, and obviously I didn't catch anything, but that's how long they've been around. And they were traditionally associated with fishing as a jigging spoon, where you're dropping it vertical into structure, and then they've morphed into some bigger spoons like this, like the flutter spoons that are designed for ledge fishing and that type of deal. So question is, are spoons still a deal? Yeah, they are. They're very situational lures. And I want to sort of give you guys a few tips and advice on when a spoon works good. And also, guys, I'll link some spoons in my Tackle Warehouse link too if you want to pick up a couple after this video. There's really only two situations I use a spoon. One is vertical jigging, usually sometime in the winter months, like between December and February. Probably my favorite way to catch a fish on a jigging spoon. And if you've never caught one on a jigging spoon, this is how you catch one. First of all, you need a lake that has at least 3.5 or 4 foot of visibility. I prefer a jigging spoon and water visibility of about 4 to 8 foot. So if you have a clear water lake, jigging spoons are going to be really good. And I've caught them on them down into 3 foot visibility, but it just seems like that 4 to 6 is really good. All you have to do is in the winter time of the year, get a 3/4 ounce jigging spoon, graph around off the end of any main lake point, especially a flatter point. Get out there in anywhere between, say, 30 to 60 foot of water, and I take that jigging spoon and I'll just pitch it out in front of the boat. I'll get in 40 foot of water, I'll pitch it all around the boat, let it free spool to the bottom, hop it off the bottom 2 or 3 times. If you hop it off the bottom for 2 or 3 times and don't get a bite, reel it in, make a pitch over 20 foot to the left. And you can cover the entire point. You don't necessarily have to be on a drop off. Those fish will come a long way to hit a spoon. So with a heavy 3/4 ounce spoon, you can make 20 or 30 pitches on one point and cover it really good. And usually what I'll do is I'll be trolling real slow, and I'll pitch that spoon out in front of the boat, and I'll free spool it down. And by the time my boat gets up to where I pitch the spoon in the water, it's usually completely vertical under the boat, and I can hop it up like that and catch them on it. Also, if you have a lake that has submerged timber in it, fishing a jigging spoon like that over the top of submerged trees, like in the middle of creek channels, can be a really good way to catch them. Now, as far as the flutter spoon, like this, which is usually a larger spoon, it's a little bit thinner, it falls quite a bit slower. This is a structure type of spoon. And my favorite ways to catch them on type of a structure spoon is on any type of a ledge lake. All you guys that fish the TVA lakes or any lake that you have ledges or drop-offs on, in the summertime of the year, between late May into September, you can take those flutter spoons and throw them out there on those structure breaks, and you don't have to have as deep of water. You can catch them on a flutter spoon in 10 or 15 feet of water if you have some type of a drop. So find a drop off, throw this flutter spoon up on top of the drop off, pop it off the bottom, let it, fall down that drop and work it down, in 15 or 20 foot of water with that. Also, another good technique that you can catch them on a spoon is flipping this thing around boat dock. So you can take a flutter spoon, pitch it in front of a dock and sides of the dock, pitch it down in the boat slips, and you can catch a lot of fish at certain times of the year on a flutter spoon, on boat docks, especially in the summertime of the year. But they're situational. Like I said, to be honest with you, I don't use them near as much as I used to. I still do occasionally, but a spoon used to be a really big player for me, in the fall time of the year and the winter time of the year. But we've got so many different type of lures available now that I don't use them as much as I do, even though I still have a box and they'll occasionally get used. So anyway, guys, hope it helps you catch a few, and we'll talk later.